Right, we are back with a man who's making his international debut on TIP TV. It's a very important occasion, obviously. Ricardo Evangelista, Head of International Desk at ActivTrades. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ricardo, how are you?
Good morning, Zach. Good, thank you.
Right, I always think of Linda when I see your surname, but maybe that's just a problem I have. Are you any relation or anything?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
What a shame.
And he wouldn't tell you anyway.
Well, probably quite right, actually.
But I do get asked that quite frequently. So.
Yes, no, well, it's just, she's created a lot of goodwill.
Yes, she was a credit to herself.
That's right, exactly. So not as much goodwill as ActivTrades, presumably, but tell us a bit about ActivTrades, just what they do, because it's maybe a name, I mean, it's a name I think most of us have heard of, but just, maybe a bit more detail.
ActivTrades is an online broker providing spread betting, Forex and CFDs. It's been operating since 2001, based just around the corner from here. And we employ around 200 people. And we operate across several countries globally, really, with the exception of North America and Japan.
Right. So you've effectively had first mover advantage in the online space. I mean, you were one of the
pioneers. Yes.
Yes. And has that experience helped you over the course of the last 14 years with the financial crash and all the other nightmares?
Most definitely. Yes, I would say so. We can see in some unfortunate episodes that occurred fairly recently. For
Euro Smith.
Exactly. We managed to come through that without major repercussions for ourselves or our clients, whilst other brokers that maybe were a bit less experienced in the markets and had more risky attitudes, unfortunately didn't manage to pull through. So
you stood the test of time, and I suppose in the online space that sort of confidence, the confidence of being with somebody who's got that background is always helpful for the client.
I would definitely say yes. It's one of the questions that I get asked more frequently: is how long have you been operating and how solid are you as a company? Okay,
well, the real topic of the day is the divergence between the euro and the dollar. What are your views on that? Because we have Bill Hubbard here, who's has many opinions on the Fed and the dollar, but I'd like to hear yours.
Well, there is a clear divergence between the two currencies. And this is a consequence of the economies, the underlying economies, and the policies that are adopted by the central banks. We had yesterday the publication of the minutes of the FOMC last meeting, which was in October, which pointed quite clearly to a raising of the interest rates for the first time in almost 10 years. And also it sort of left hanging in the air the idea that this is something to be continued. So there will be a progress towards a higher interest rate in the US, but it will be done at a slow pace, so it won't be something quite quick.
In reference to the euro, and Zach and I were talking this, the next big day is the 3rd of December. The market had been anticipating prior to that official announcement that the ECB would probably be quite dovish, if not else, with at least after the horrific events in Paris on Friday. Now, do you think that with what the Fed said last night, and I still think a third said yes, a third said no, the other third said, I'll get back to you later. Do you think the ECB will be maybe less dovish than what the market had been anticipated, especially after the non-farm payrolls of just 10 days ago?
Yes, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the circumstances of the major economies in the Eurozone are not as positive as one would like to think. I think the ECB was very slow in reacting to a situation if compared to this country or to the Fed in the US, which adopted stimulus quite early on, monetary stimulus to their respective economies, whilst the European Central Bank may be following conditions imposed by the Germans, were very slow in doing so, and only fairly recently started the asset purchase program. And so I think the ECB still has a way to go.
Now, we saw this last week with Goldman coming out talking about parity by year end. I mean, should we have interpreted maybe year end was 2016 and not 2015? I mean, we still haven't breach that 104.5, 106 level. You know, my feeling is worst case, best case scenario, maybe we get to 105 by year end. But I mean, parity is a long way off. Wouldn't you agree?
It is still some way off, although I would say that we're walking towards parity between the euro.
You said
and the
walking,
dollar.
but not running, right?
Not running, walking, exactly, walking. And I think that, as you said, it is quite likely that we will witness the parity between the euro and the dollar at a certain point during 2016, especially if, as expected, the ECB adopts even stronger policies in terms of quantitative easing. And the Fed starts raising the interest rates of the dollar. We'll see many investors leaving the euro and embracing the dollar.
All right, well, say I'm somebody watching the show. I'm not interested in all the macro babble, you know, the Fed and the ECB. I've got what looks to be, this divergence looks to be an easy trade, inverted commas. And, you know, it's just, you know, I click on sell the euro dollar, and I just stay short, and anytime it rallies, I go short, I just go short up to the eyeballs. Isn't that the trade? Isn't that the trade to do at the moment? I mean, one way or the other, it's going down. It can't go up.
Some analysts would probably say that it's not crystal clear that the Fed will raise interest rates in December.
But even if they chicken out, you got Draghi calling down the euro every time it goes up 20 pips. So it's you know,
or more, or 200 even. Yes.
But I mean, he's just trying to get it.
Yeah, but Zach, with what you said, I think what's difficult is that we're looking at euro dollar, but also look euro sterling, euro yen, and I think this is where a lot of people get caught because they're looking at one specific cross rate, where there be 4, 5, 6 that may have today, tomorrow, next week, have more of an effect rather than what the Fed's doing or the ECB's doing. And I think that makes it very difficult for a one trader. If you're trading euro dollar, well, why is it going up and why is it going down? Well, look what happened in Japan, or look what's happening in Asia.
Exactly, and also you have to take into consideration that at the moment the consensus for the expectation is at around 70% that the Fed will raise interest rates in December, and somehow that is already factored into the value of the dollar against the euro and other major currencies.
So hence you said the walk lower rather than the running lower.
Yes.
Or as Stanley Fischer said, crawling.
Crawling, yes, crawling, and the occasional jump up as well. But say if for some reason, if there was a deterioration of conditions, say in Asia, and the Fed was to postpone the raise in the interest rates from December to, say, January or March or February, that would be likely to hit someone who had a trade such as the one you described. I mean,
so this is
you have to look out for those unforecasted.
The no-brainer trade, which the last one that I saw, which really was a no-brainer because even I worked it out, was buying dollar yen.
Yeah.
Buying dollar yen around 80, 85, and when the three arrows policy came in and super Arbe came in as well.
Economics,
Is this on a scale of 1 to 10? Is this as easy as that was actually? That was the. I mean, even Soros got that one.
Yes.
So
I wouldn't say it's as easy now. I wouldn't say. I would agree with most analysts that say it's not as straightforward as that. I think that there is still scope for some unforecasted news announcements, especially from Asia. We've seen a few surprises already this year with China, for example. So I would say that investors should keep an eye out, not just on what the ECB says and what the Fed does, but also on what goes on around the other economies that at this moment are important, say in Japan, in China, the developing countries as well. Some people look into the developing countries as having the potential to trigger a third stage in the global recession. So.
Okay, well, Ricardo Evangelista, Head of International Desk at ActivTrades, thank you for making an excellent debut.
Thank you for the opportunity.
See you again soon, and I'm impressed that you didn't fall for my baiting and sort of teasing in terms of euro dollar. But thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
But I almost did.
Almost, yes, almost. We'll be back after the break.